All right, good afternoon. It is 5 p.m. on November the 29th, and I will call to order this special called meeting of the mayor and council. First item up, let me get a motion to adopt the agenda as presented. Have a motion from Ms. Marchman to adopt the agenda as presented. Is there a second?
I thought we were going to amend the agenda.
Well, as presented.
Okay, this is the new one, okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll second.
All right, I have a second from Mr. Carter. Is all in favor? All right, that's unanimous. We have adopted the agenda. Let me just make note that present in the room is Stephanie Warmoth, Councilwoman Stephanie Warmoth, Councilman Danny Carter, and Councilwoman Shirley Marchman. We may be joined at some point later on by Councilwoman Anna McCoy and Councilman Matthew Montahan. They are possibly in transit. The first item up, we have Human Resources. I'm going to ask Ms. Lena Taylor to come forward and present this item.
Yes.
Is your mic on?
It's on,
All right,
yes.
there you go.
So I'm here to present the incentive, end of year incentive pay for employees. It's in our policy, personnel policy since 2021, as updated, last updated February 8th of 2021. And it states at the end of each calendar year, the city may pay employees incentive pay. And the pay is based on how well the health plan has performed over the last fiscal year, and it's limited to $300 per full-time employee and $150 to part-time employees. For fiscal year 2023, the preliminary year-end financials for the self-funded insurance fund showed that the fund increased fund balance by $554,137, and the current fund balance is $1,657,006. We're proposing $300 for each full-time employee and $150 for each, part-time employee. That should be corrected, I apologize. Grossed up for taxes.
Okay. So, well, let me just clarify this real quick if I could. So the employee handbook, our personnel policy, anticipates that we would pay out this incentive bonus every year at the end of the year based on a formula that is tied to the self-funded health insurance plan. This year's calculation shows that the fund increased by just over $500,000. Therefore, the calculation would equate to the maximum under the policy, which is $300 per full-time employee and $150 per part-time employee. We said before that we would come back and look at this policy again after we had an opportunity to see how it worked. This went into effect in 2021. You're here tonight because we already had to have a special called meeting for another purpose, which we'll take up in executive session. But if we could go ahead and get this passed out tonight, then you could get it to the employees as quick as possible, and that's why you're here, right?
Correct.
All right, very good. Council, do you have any questions for Lena? All right, if there are no questions, who, Ms. Marchman.
Is this what it pertaining to this, what you all said, Christmas bonus?
That's what no ma'am, that's what this replaces. So we've called it different things every year, Christmas bonus, end of year incentive, but officially the lawyers in the room came to us and said that we shouldn't be giving out a Christmas bonus, so we needed to call it end of year incentive pay, which is why we titled it that way. But it's essentially the same thing. Okay. Anybody else? Who would like to be recognized for a motion? Mr. Carter.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we give the employees the $300 for the full-time and $150 for the part-time for this fiscal year ending September 23.
All right, I have a motion from Mr. Carter, and then is there a second?
I'll second.
I have a second from Ms. Warmoth. That's going to take me a minute to remember, folks. You get used to doing this over the years, and so you kind of have those 5 names all the time, and then just suddenly you're trying to think of something else. So please forgive me, because that's certainly not intentional. It's me trying to keep a lot of stuff together at the same time. So I have a motion from Mr. Carter and a second from Ms. Warmoth. All in favor? All right, that is unanimous. All right, I will entertain a motion to go into executive session for the purposes that Mr. Kevin Drummond will tell us.
Yes, there's litigation where we are a potential plaintiff in an action.
Oh, you don't have to summarize it. Just under the attorney-client privilege as provided
Yes.
in the code, if you would, I wanted you to just read that.
Pursuant to the attorney-client privileges provided in Georgia Code Section 50-14-2, Section 1, a meeting otherwise required to be open can be closed to the public in order to consult with the meet legal counsel pertaining to potential litigation, settlement claims, administrative proceedings, and other judicial actions to be brought by or against the city or any officer or employee of the city. And the purpose will be to involve matters discussed regarding PFAS class action suits.
Okay, so I have a motion, no, I need a
I make that
motion.
motion.
All right, so Mr. Carter will make a motion for the purposes as stated by Mr. Drummond. Is there a second? Have a second from Ms. Marchman. All in favor? All right, that's unanimous. We'll go into executive session. We do anticipate that we will come up and take an action after this. We'll be adjourned until we get back.
You did.
let's give it just a minute. I want to let Ms. Marchman get up here. She got pulled to the side downstairs. I'll just remind everybody the cameras are still on, just in case you're going to give out any Christmas gifts, secrets, or anything like that. Well, because we don't have, what's his name? Joel here to, I'm terrible with names these days. I'm getting old. Okay, let's get, I'll take a motion to come back into regular session. A motion from Ms.
Second.
Marchman to come into regular session, a second from Mr. Carter, all in favor? All right, we're back in regular session. Kevin, would you please introduce this item for us?
Yes, and no action was taken in executive session, but what the purpose of today is the city of Villa Rica, along with a number of other cities, are potential class members in some lawsuits involving what's known as forever chemicals. And these are chemicals that are produced by several companies. The big ones are 3M and DuPont, which would include chemicals in products such as stain-resistant products that would go into fabrics or pots and pans that once they're in the soil or water systems, they don't break down. So there's potential that we may be required by the EPD at some point to come up with systems to remove these chemicals. And these lawsuits involve those chemicals and against the companies. There's currently a class action where we are a potential part of the class, and we are facing a hard deadline to opt out of the class. So we are asking that we pass a resolution to opt out of the class so we can pursue claims on our own, first off. And second off, that we retain counsel that's been successful representing other cities in opting out and pursuing their claims.
Okay, I appreciate that summary. So the council met in executive session and discussed this at some length, and now I'll recognize Mr. Carter. We have two motions before us. I'm going to ask Mr. Carter to go with the first motion to start with.
Okay. I move to approve the resolution authorizing the city of Villa Rica to opt out of nationwide class act settlement related to PFAS and to authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute the documents necessary to request the exclusion.
All right, have a motion from Mr. Carter. Is there a second? Have a second from Ms. Marchman. All in favor? All right, that's unanimous. Mr. Carter.
I move to approve the representation agreement between the city of Villa Rica and the law firms Davis, Lucas, Carter, LLP, and Friedman, Dazo, Zulanis, PC, to allow said law firms to represent the city in making claims related to the city water contamination claims related to PFAS, similar and related substances.
And I read that whole motion down in executive session, and I said to myself, goodness, I don't want to do that again. All right, I have a motion from Mr. Carter. Is there a second? I have a second from Ms. Marchman. All in favor? All right, that is unanimous. Okay, we have public comments. Now, has anybody signed up for public comments? All right, seeing that no one has signed up, is there anybody here who would like to give public comments? Seeing none, I will close. Oh, he's serious. All right.
Just to kind of speak up about Shop with the Cops coming up.
Oh, wonderful.
We're doing Shop with a Cop on the 18th. So if anybody wants to donate to the Shop with a Cop program, we're going to try to do 100 kids again or so. So any help we can get, we'd love to have. Y'all are also welcome to come to the event. We also go around and see seniors and give them a gift. And so we've got 100 gifts we've purchased for them to give them. So anybody wants to go with us is welcome to go with us.
Well, that's
Thank you.
fantastic. So do we have that out on the PD app?
I'll make sure.
And then what about on the city's Facebook page? Or
Talk about it on Facebook. So
Okay, good.
but we'll make sure.
all right, wonderful. Thank you. Anybody else? All right, seeing none, I will close the public comments, and I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I have a motion from Mr. Carter to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Have a second from Ms. McCoy. All in favor? We are adjourned. However, keep.
Sir.
Did you update that agenda on the website?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.